in the upper 50s and the lower 60s before highs in the 70s arrive Friday, with rain increasing. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
This is Apostle Bernard Whitfield, Righteous God Ministries, 2444 Owen Drive. Catch the vision. Join the team. Team Wake Up. You need to come and join with us. We can do a lot more together than we can apart. Team Unity, which is called Team Wake Up. It is evident that it is necessary for people to come together and just pull together. One can put 1,000, 2, 10,000 to flight. I know you can do it. We need you. We need your help. No help is too small. God bless you. And remember, catch the vision. Join the team. Team Wake Up.
Welcome to Cape Fear Valley's Making Rounds Live, broadcasting and streaming live from the WIDU Community Room.
The WIDU Radio Network, WAGR in Lumberton, WYDU in Red Springs, and WEWO in Laurinburg.
Making Rounds Live on 99.7 FM, 1600 AM.
We air every second and fourth Tuesday of the month.
Making Rounds Live.
The purpose of this show is to bring you information on health and wellness.
Here's the host of Making Rounds Live, Omega Jones.
And thank you so much, Ray. Welcome to another edition of Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live. I'm your host, Omega Jones. November is National Diabetes Month, and today is World Diabetes Day. So, we're going to talk about diabetes education today, bariatric surgery, and how the two work together for some patients. Now, before we get started, remember the purpose of Making Rounds Live is for informational purposes. This is not a chance for you to self-diagnose. If you suffer from anything that we're going to discuss during this broadcast today, what I want you to do is find yourself a healthcare professional. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming today's guest. First, we have Ms. Christiana Adeyima. She is the Executive Director for Better Health of Cumberland County. As a matter of fact, she is the new Executive Director of Better Health of Cumberland County, and she is here to talk about diabetes education today. We also are going to have a conversation with Dr. Daniel McCullough. He is a bariatric surgeon from Cape Fear Valley Health, and he's going to tell us about some of the benefits of bariatric surgery and nutrition for type 2 diabetics. Now, Dr. McCullough and Ms. Adeyima, please welcome to Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live.
Good morning.
Thank you. All right, is it okay for me to call you Miss Christiana this morning? Because I'm going to butcher your last name throughout the broadcast.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Christiana, let's start with you. First, since you're new to Better Health of Cumberland County, and since you're relatively new to the community, introduce yourself and tell everyone how you ended up at Better Health.
Yes, my name is Christiana Adeyemi. As you already mentioned, I'm the Executive Director, the new one, for the program. I've been in Fayetteville for quite a few. I've been here for about 20 years.
Wow, okay.
Yes, so we are a military family, and so that's how we ended up here. My husband is a soldier. So I enjoy Fayetteville, many experience with nonprofit, many years of experience. So yes, it's a wonderful world, and I am so honored to be in my position and to be able to serve the people of Cumberland County. Thank you.
Well, first, let me make sure you tell your husband thank you for his service, and thank you for your service for being a military wife.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, before we discuss the services over at Better Health and what they offer, let's get an understanding of what type 1 diabetes is and what type 2 diabetes.
Yes, there's a difference between the two. So the type 1 is when the pancreas no longer make insulin and blood glucose can't enter into the blood cells to be used for energy. The type 2 one is more of a kind of a lifestyle type of situation. Mm-hmm. And it is when the body is not making enough insulin, or can't use the insulin that is producing effectively. With the type 2, this is something that can be corrected with making some lifestyle changes.
All right, so basically type 1, you're pretty much born with. Is that the case? And
It's
type
an
2?
autoimmune type of condition, and it can develop suddenly.
Okay.
Sometimes it's caused by genetics, and sometimes, the causes is unknown.
Type 2 diabetes, Ms. Christiana, it is a growing problem in our community, and I'm reading that it is really increasing among young people. How can parents turn that tide?
So there's a lot of things that parents can do in helping children with this situation. And a lot of it has to do with nutrition and also physical activity. So for instance, eating more fruits and vegetables is a good way. Making sure that we drink more water as opposed to sugary drinks like sodas and stuff like that is another thing. Making sure that we at least exercise, even if it's for about 20 minutes every day, that's wonderful. That would be a wonderful thing. Teaching children not to eat whilst watching TV or playing games, but maybe actually sitting at the table helps to cut down on the intake of some of the things that we eat that is excessive for our system. So, things like that will make a big difference. Keeping children busy with different sports activities in school, that will be helpful as well. And so there's a lot of different things like that that are, quite easy and doesn't cost a whole bunch of money that can be done that can help children.
All right.
One of the programs that we have at Better Health is our Fit program. And this is a program in which we actually work with children that are obese to manage this situation. We do cooking demonstrations, for instance. We teach parents how to cook better and, using vegetables and things that are readily available and that are not that expensive. Sometimes people think that eating healthy is expensive, but you can actually eat healthy without spending a whole bunch of money. Or people just don't know how to make these meals. So we're able to actually show them and teach them how to count carbs, and also we engage them in physical activities. To participate in this program, we do it Tuesdays at our office located on Bragg Boulevard. That's 1422 Bragg Boulevard. And we also have a collaboration with the Massey Hill Recreational Centers where they can also meet on Fridays. We have the gym, so there's the equipment there as well that are available that can be used for physical activities as well. So this is a wonderful collaboration that we have, and it's a wonderful program that we have here, and it's free that parents can take advantage of.
You see, she said that favorite word that everyone loves, free. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Christiana, she is the executive director of Better Health of Cumberland County on Making Rounds Live. Now, if you would like to be part of this broadcast, what you can do is you can reach out to us two different ways. What you can do is you can give us a call at 910-483-6111. And Miss Gloria, if I didn't get her name right, please forgive me. She is a beautiful lady at the front desk. She will make sure that she gets that question to us in case you don't want to go on the air. I would like for you to go on the air, but in case you don't want to, Miss Gloria will take care of you. Also, if you're watching the live stream on Cape Fear Valley's Facebook page, what you can do is put the question in the comments section. Miss Lindsay's over there working hard as always and answered for you while we have these experts in the room with us today. Now, other thing I need you to do is share this broadcast feed. We are going to discuss, and we are discussing, a lot of great information about diabetes, services that we have here in Cumberland County. It is too much for you to remember. It is too much for you to be the middleman. So what you can do is just tell them to share the link or share the link with them, and then they'll have access to it. Again, we're talking to Ms. Christiana, the Executive Director for Better Health of Cumberland County. Now, Ms. Christiana, you were talking about the services that you offer at Better Health. Is what you mentioned earlier, was that just for the teens, or do you have something different for the adults with diabetes?
Yes, we do have a diabetes management education program. We have registered nurses that works with the program. We also, from time to time, we consult with a dietitian. And so we have professionals that come in and talk about the different areas in which diabetes can affect the body. So our Tuesday clinics, they are a walk-in clinic where anybody can actually just walk in that needs help with, education and management. And we have 2 classes on Tuesdays. So we have one at 8 o'clock and another one at 10. The 8 o'clock one will usually go to about 9:30, and then the 10 to about 11:30. And so with these classes, people can come in and learn about different areas and how diabetes affect the body and things like that. We also have a take charge of diabetes class that is actually with the ADA, recognized by the ADA, that's the American Diabetes Association. And this program is a 7-week long program, and it is more intensive, it's more hands-on, and by the end of that 7 weeks, you would have learned everything you need to know about managing your diabetes and being able to make that lifestyle change that will help you to live a better quality life. And so this is a really wonderful program where we give out a lot of information, a lot of materials that people can take back with them and help them along the line with that situation. And so we were able to serve both adults and children with our program. And like I mentioned before, it's all free.
Are these services open for everyone, or just can supporters or caregivers also go to these classes and enjoy these services?
Yes. So these services is open to everybody. The person who is being diagnosed, pre-diabetic, the people who are actually supporting them, caregivers, everybody is welcome to come. And we not only serve people in Cumberland County, we've had people coming in from surrounding counties as well. And so nobody's turned away. There's no income restriction. Everybody can come because like you mentioned, diabetes is huge. According to some of the data, we have about 50,000 people just here in North Carolina being diagnosed with diabetes every year. Wow. And so this is a huge situation in which, we need to take it seriously. A lot of people are walking around not even knowing that they have diabetes until they get into a critical situation. And so, it's free and it's open to all.
Now, I need for you to repeat where you all are located, because I know you mentioned it to us earlier, but in case someone just joined us, where are you located? And these classes are provided on site. I just want to make sure that the listener understands that.
Yes, we're located on 1422 Bragg Boulevard. That's Fayetteville, NC 28301, and it is open. What we have also started doing is actually going to different locations to offer the class. And so we've had different churches. Sometimes they will call and say, can you please come in and talk about this? We also work with the parks and recs. So we go to the recreational centers, and we're able to go out there with the senior citizen centers on Blue Street, Bill Crisp, and we're able to go out and also do these classes. So we're able to offer it also one-on-one. If you're not able to come on Tuesday or the Thursday class, and you just want a one-on-one with a registered nurse, we can also do that. And for people who are actually not able to come on site, if you want a virtual class, you can request for that, and we can also do that. So we're trying to make sure that this is available for people to be able to get this in whatever way it's needed.
I just had someone to shoot me a text message. What about virtual classes?
Oh, I just mentioned that.
You just mentioned
yes,
it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I just wanted to make sure that they heard it. Okay. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, November is National Diabetes Month, and today is World Diabetes Day. So we're talking to Ms. Christiana. She is the Executive Director of Better Health on Making Rounds Live. Ms. Christiana, let's talk about people. Do you see a lot of people that are sticking with what they learn from these classes, or is it something that is more or less like a fly-by-night type of thing?
Our experience is that when people actually know what they're supposed to be doing, that they're actually taking the steps to put into practice what they have been taught. And so we're seeing people actually take the information that they're learning from the program and actually utilizing it to make a difference for their lives. We have a very high success rate. And when we go back and circle back with our clients with a survey, asking them questions about how they've been impacted, we see a lot of people saying the information that has been learned has been make a tremendous effect in their life. We're seeing people who came in with A1C of about 14.
Wow.
And go back and utilize the information and go down to a 6. Or sometimes where they didn't even need to use their medication anymore because they have done so well in trying to turn it around. And so people, they do take that information most of the time, and they do use it. Every now and then, you might come across people who they're not going to, do anything anyway, but the majority of the people do take that information and they use it.
You mentioned a person with diabetes can actually get off their meds?
Yes, I can tell you, we've seen several stories, client stories, that has come through the program, and that have actually, where the doctors say, you really don't need this with the type 2 because they're doing so well. At a 5, where, sometimes the medication is being reduced, or sometimes they're taking them off some of their medications and say, you don't need this, because they are counting carbs, they're, exercising regularly, they're eating the appropriate, number of food and portion and stuff like that, using their medication well, and they're able to almost, it's like almost reversing that situation when you put those things that you have learned into practice.
Let's talk about the upcoming special events that Better Health has coming up. Tell us all the details. What's going on?
Yes, so we do have the Red Apple Run, which is actually this Saturday on the 18th. It's going to be at Carver's Creek, which is the state park located off of Ramsey Street. And it's a 5K, 10K walk or run. So even if you don't want to run, you can take your time and walk. And so this is good for getting out there and exercising. We know that exercise makes a big difference when it comes to helping with losing the weight. We also know that it is good for mental health, because when you go out there and exercise, and it helps you with your blood flow and everything else. And so we're encouraging everybody to come out and participate. It is a fundraiser event for us because we are non-profit. And so it's one of the events that we do annually in order to raise funds for the program to continue to provide the free services that we're able to provide to the community. So we're encouraging everybody to please join us with this event. You can go on our website and register. You can also register through our Facebook page. And so whichever one is convenient, please support Better Health.
The Red Apple, is the Red Apple Run, was that it? Because I've got a typo here, but anyway.
Yes, it is the Red Apple Run for diabetes.
Okay. I'm sorry, you all just saw my ADD in live and living color. But anyway, that's a fantastic way that the organization raises money. And I see that Better Health also is supported by grants and donations, one of which is Cape Fear Valley Health Foundation. They are a big supporter, and I understand that Giving Tuesday is right around the corner. So if there is someone listening right now and they're saying, Ms. Christiana, I'm not going to run. I can't run down the stairs of my house. I'm not going to get out and walk, but I do want to support. Can you give us a little more details about Giving Tuesday?
Yes. So Giving Tuesday is another way that you can support the program. Here in Cumberland County, the Cumberland Community Foundation is the one hosting the Giving Tuesday for us. They have graciously raised a lot of money, over $500,000, about $550 actually. that is available to amplify whatever the different organizations will receive. And so this is the time to actually give, because then whatever you give will be amplified, which will make it go further with the agencies that are part of the Giving Tuesday campaign. So Better Health is one of those agencies where, this is the opportunity for you to give back. And the way to give, there's a window that you can use is from the 28th to the 29th of this month of November that you can give, the 28th to the 29th. So you have about 9 days right there. Okay. Starting at 9 o'clock in the morning of the 28th, you can start giving all the way till the 29th at 5 p.m. in the afternoon, in the evening. And if you're giving through a check, please make sure that you address it to Cumberland Community Foundation. But then in the memo line, that's where you will put Giving Tuesday, and that's where you will put Better Health, and so that they would know that you're giving it for Giving Tuesday and you want it to go to Better Health in particular. But the check needs to be addressed at the top to the foundation, to Cumberland Community Foundation.
And then make sure that they put Better Health in the memo section.
Yes.
All right. Before we close out the first segment, Ms. Christiana, is there anything that you want to stress to our listeners and our viewers, or any final remarks?
I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today. I really appreciate that. Like I mentioned before, Better Health is a nonprofit organization, and we have a long history. We've been here for 65 years. And so we have impacted thousands and thousands of people's life here in the county. Our services are free. And so in order for us to be able to continue to do the great work that we do need everybody's support. And so please, we're looking for volunteers always. We're looking for donations, always donation of not only money, but also medical equipment. We loan out medical equipment to people, wheelchairs, bedside commons, crutches, and things like that. And we also help people who have no insurance. So I want you all to know that people who are underinsured or have no insurance, we can help them with their prescription, with glasses, their exam and glasses. Wow. We do dental extraction. We help people who need to go to their appointment and have no transportation. We do gas vouchers to like Duke, Chapel Hill, any appointment that is outside of town. And so there's a lot of services that we do provide here, in addition to what I already mentioned about FayFit and about our diabetes management program. So yes, we do a lot, and check us out on our, on social media, on our website, and give us a call if you need additional information. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on the broadcast today, Ms. Christiana. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Executive Director of Better Health of Cumberland County, Ms. Christiana, I'm going to try her name, Adeyemi. And thank you so much for being part of today's broadcast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you stay tuned, because up next, we're going to learn how weight loss surgery can help patients with type 2 diabetes on Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live. Make sure you stay close.
We'll be right back with more of Making Rounds Live.
Cape Fear Valley's Making Rounds Live.
Broadcasting and streaming live from the WIDU Community Room on 99.7 FM, 1600 AM.
The WIDU Radio Network.
This is Pastor Sarah Alford of Joy Fellowship Outreach Ministry, and you are listening to Wake Up.
The race for president and governor of North Carolina is shaping up to be close, according to a poll from Meredith College in Raleigh. The presidential race, political science professor David McClellan, who oversaw the poll, tells NCN News the governor's race is close too. Following reports that Justices Thomas, Alito, and Sotomayor accepted gifts and favors from wealthy friends, all 9 members of the Supreme Court have signed on to a code of conduct to avoid the appearance of impropriety. The situation at Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza City remains dire, not only according to the health ministry in Gaza that is controlled by Hamas, but by international aid groups. Israel claims Hamas militants used tunnels under the hospital to hide. A new report by Direct Relief, a nonprofit humanitarian medical organization, found half of U.S. households are less likely to donate to charity during the holiday season now. Mike Rayleigh, NTN News.
Sunshine will be on tap today, but we could see a few clouds move through. And with high pressure in control, it's going to be another fall-like afternoon. We'll head into the low to upper 60s today, with temperatures tonight in the mid to upper 30s. It's going to be chilly as we get the day started. On Wednesday, staying cool throughout the day due to increased cloud cover. Highs will be in the upper 50s and the lower 60s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
This is Pastor Steve McMillan of the New Life Covenant Fellowship, 362 Neville Street in your God-blessed city of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Catch the vision, join the team. The Bible declares where there's unity, there is strength. Catch the vision, join the team. We invite you to catch the vision and join this Wake Up Coalition team.
Over 75 years ago, the Bryan family opened their first dealership in Fayetteville and has been selling Hondas for 50 of those years. From the first days the doors opened, our dedication to quality customer service has never wavered. Whether a new Honda or pre-owned car, van, truck, or SUV, the certified pre-owned Hondas to service after the sale are all the reasons why we say nobody beats a Bryan Honda deal. Not now, not ever. So, when considering your next vehicle purchase, come to Bryan Honda or visit BryanHondaFayetteville.com.
Hi, this is T.W. Campbell.
And I'm Patricia Campbell
of the Refuge Community Church, located at 2314 L.A. Dunham Road here in the God-blessed city of Fayetteville, North Carolina. You can reach us at area code 910-483-6477. We're here to invite you to our early morning service each Sunday morning beginning at 8:30 in the morning. Our prayer is at 6 o'clock, our intercessory prayer. Bible studies at 7 o'clock, which now is our Sunday school at night, and which we call the Word on Wednesday. Come and be a part of a growing community. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Hi, my name is Apostle Preston Davis Jr., Senior Pastor of True Love Church International, and you're listening to Wake Up.
Good morning. I'm Pastor Gregory L. Davis of the Second Missionary Baptist Church of Fayetteville, and we are proud to be sponsors of the Wake Up Coalition.
We now return to Making Rounds Live.
Cape Fear Valley's Making Rounds Live.
Broadcasting and streaming live on the WIDU network, 99.7 FM, 1600 AM. Here's Omega Jones.
Thank you so much, Ray. Welcome back to the second segment of Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live. Our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, he is a metabolic and bariatric surgeon at Cape Fear Valley Health, and he is the director of the metabolic and bariatric surgery at Cape Fear Valley Health. Now, he's here to join us to discuss how weight loss surgery can actually help patients with type 2 diabetes. This is new to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Daniel McCullough, and he's up next on Making Rounds Live. Welcome to the broadcast.
Good morning.
Now, Dr. McCullough, during the first segment, we heard a lot of information about trying to control diabetes through diet and exercise. Now, when do patients know that it's time to try something more drastic, like weight loss surgery?
Only patients know when it's time to move on and to consider weight loss surgery. And a common theme that I hear with my patients is that they've been struggling. And one day they wake up and they say, I don't want to struggle any longer. I don't want to struggle with my weight. I don't want to struggle with my blood sugar. I don't want to struggle with my mobility and all the other activities of daily living that are hampered because of my weight. And then they realize that I'm never going to go back to life the way it was before, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my health back and to get my quality of life back. For lack of a better term, they reach that breaking point and they realize that they need help. And fortunately, that help is available to them.
So let's make sure we're absolutely clear, and I want to make sure that the viewers and the listeners are clear on this. This is only an option for patients who are significantly overweight. This is not like a tummy tuck or anything like that, correct?
That's correct. And patients do need to be overweight in order to qualify for weight loss surgery for the treatment of diabetes. The good news is a lot of insurance companies now are lowering that bar and the amount that patients have to be overweight in order to qualify. It used to be that patients had to be 100 pounds or more overweight in order to qualify for weight loss surgery. But over the last several years, insurances have realized the dramatic improvement in diabetes that happens after weight loss surgery, and so the criteria have changed, and a lot of insurance companies now provide a benefit if patients are 50 pounds overweight or more. Almost all the insurance companies now provide a benefit if patients are 75 pounds or more overweight.
What's the success rate when it comes to achieving that goal? Or as far as achieving what's the success rate for the surgery as far as achieving the goal we were just talking about?
And so if you follow all patients across the country with type 2 diabetes, and I want to be clear on that, type 1 diabetes isn't treated with weight loss surgery. We're talking about patients with adult onset or type 2 diabetes. Greater than 70% of those patients will enjoy long-term remission of their diabetes after weight loss surgery, meaning no more pills, no more injections of insulin or other medications in order to maintain a normal blood sugar. So it's long-term. It's a very successful operation for most patients. And it's one of the reasons why insurance companies have embraced it for the treatment of diabetes in patients who are obese.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the middle of an interesting discussion with the Director of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery at Cape Fear Valley Health, Dr. Daniel McCullough, on Making Rounds Live. Now, if you would like to be part of this conversation, you know you can. All you have to do is call 910-483-6111. Again, 910-483-6111. Or if you're watching the live stream on Cape Fear Valley's Facebook page, leave the question in the comments section, and we will get that question answered for you. Finally, make sure you share the broadcast. We have a lot of interesting information here. Dr. McCullough just told you that bariatric surgery is probably covered under insurance. This is something you cannot relay information on. So share the broadcast. Now, how does a patient decide which procedure to get?
That's interesting. And most of my patients are self-referred, meaning they didn't have their doctor come and tell them, they didn't have a family member come and tell them to have weight loss surgery. They decided on their own that weight loss surgery is really what they need. And in the age of the internet, a lot of people do their homework. And so I would say half of the patients coming in to see me, they know which operation they want to get. But a lot of patients are uncertain, and for those patients, I try and help them arrive at a decision. There are two different bariatric surgeries that we offer at Cape Fear Valley. There's the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which means we shrink up the size of the stomach in order to help patients feel full and satisfied with less food, but we don't bypass any of the intestines, so the food and nutrients in your diet get absorbed normally. And then there's an operation called the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass surgery, which most patients have been familiar with because it's been around for 50 years. And with that operation, your portion sizes are smaller, but by bypassing some of the small intestine, not all the food in your diet gets absorbed normally. And so those two options are what we have to offer at Cape Fear Valley. And for patients that are uncertain which operation they want to have done, I try and go through and help them arrive at the decision. There are medical reasons why one operation may be better for that patient than another, and then there are nutritional reasons or societal reasons or social reasons why one operation may be better than the other. There's some patients that come in and see me and say, oh, my auntie or my mom or my sister or my brother, they had the gastric bypass, and so that's the operation I want. And no matter what discussion I may have with them, that for society, for social reasons, that's the operation they want. But other patients, diet plays a role, and so not all food triggers are the same for everybody. Some people like bread, they like pasta, they like rice, they like big bready foods, and they like big meals. And for patients like that, a portion control operation like the sleeve gastrectomy may be the best operation for them. And then there's some patients where their metabolism is very slow. They've tried every weight loss program, whether it's Jenny Craig, Nutrisystems, diet and exercise, whatever, and they've never been able to lose weight because they have an underlying metabolism that is very slow. For those patients, a gastric bypass may be a better option for them. Those are nutritional reasons. There are medical reasons why one operation may be better than the other. Patients that have really bad heartburn or gastroesophageal reflux disease, gastric bypass does a little bit better job than the sleeve gastrectomy does at resolving gastroesophageal reflux disease. Interestingly, though, since it is World Diabetes Day, and that's what we're talking about, diabetes cure rates are pretty much the same between a sleeve and a gastric bypass, though there's some data out there that suggests the gastric bypass may have a little bit better long-term remission of diabetes than a sleeve gastrectomy. But I caution patients, don't make the decision just based on the cure rate of diabetes, because both of them do an excellent job. But for patients that come in and see me, and they have what's called a high insulin resistant form of type 2 diabetes, where they require 100 or 200 or 300 units of insulin per day or more. For those patients, all things being equal, the gastric bypass may be a little bit better option than the sleeve gastrectomy.
Okay, Dr. McCullough, someone out there is thinking, all right, having surgery sounds like it's a lot easier than taking the class and exercising and monitoring what I eat all the time. Is that a fair assumption?
I wish that were true. I am a lifetime middle child, and my whole goal in life is to make everybody else around me happy. And if I could spend my whole career giving patients one operation, saying, this is the operation, it's going to cure all of your diabetes problems, it's going to fix your weight problems, it's going to make you exercise, feel better, and cure every issue that you have, I would love to offer patients that operation. But the reality just isn't there. And the operation is a tool. It is an important tool because you can teach patients how to eat right and get really good balance in their meal between lean proteins and brown starch carbohydrates and veggies, and get really metabolically active food, eat 5 times a day, exercise, and get your sugar in great control. But at the end of the day, I can't fix hunger just by teaching patients how to eat right. And the missing link in all these diet programs, and all of them do a decent job of regimenting patients to lose weight, but at the end of the day, patients have to tell themselves, I'm full and satisfied with a small plate of food, when their stomach is like, I want more than a small plate of food. And so that underlying hunger drive and that feeling of fullness is something that no medication or no diet program can fix. But weight loss surgery can fix that. And so the surgery is important from that perspective, but that's only a small part of what we do at Cape Fear Valley. What we really do is help patients make a lifestyle change. And I tell my patients, I'm going to be your surgeon for about 30 minutes to an hour out of your life, helping you with that operation. The rest of the time before surgery and after surgery, long term, I'm teaching you how to eat right. I'm helping you get into exercise and stay in exercise. I'm helping you stay on track with food, and when you start to fall off that wagon afterwards, you come back and see me, and we get you back on track with eating right. But also the secret gem of our program is our support network. We have support groups that meet on a regular basis, which are run by us, but are attended by our patients that have had surgery, patients that are about to have surgery. And that synergy that comes with those support group classes is really important for some of our patients that struggle with having a good support network at home. They may not have family or friends that are there advocating for them to lose weight. And to have that support network is really awesome for our patients to help them long term, because you need all of that. If you don't address the nutritional reasons why patients gain weight or their diabetes get bad, the exercise reasons, the portion control reasons, and the emotional support, if you don't address all those reasons, patients are less likely to be successful. And so that's the majority of what I do to help patients. But it's not easy. And to specifically answer the question, I wish it were all about just getting an operation, then you have to worry about all the other stuff. But it's not the case. And it's a long-term struggle, and patients know that. Patients know it's not a cop-out or an easy answer for their issues. They may think that at first, but once they join our program, we really try and do a great job of educating patients about how it's super important, and that what we really profess is that lifestyle change and sticking with it after surgery.
What should patients do if they're interested in getting bariatric surgery at Cape Fear Valley?
So the answer to that is simple. We've tried to make it as easy as possible for our patients to learn more about our program and help them decide whether or not our program is appropriate for them. Our webpage through capefearvalley.com has a whole bunch of information. It also has links to our online seminar and also links to sign up for our in-person seminars. What we try and do with these seminars is that whether you go online or you come in person, you get the same amount of information. And what we're trying to do is give patients an idea of how our program is unique, how our program helps patients lose weight, and then we talk a little bit about the operations themselves, because a lot of patients, they don't know anything about bariatric surgery. They just may have heard, oh yeah, I can fix my diabetes if I have weight loss surgery. And so we talk a little bit about that in our seminars as well. If patients don't want to get on the internet, they can get on the old phone call too. And by calling 910-615-BARRY or 2274, they'll get in touch with one of our coordinators who can hold their hand through the whole process and get them set up from there. We hold our seminars at least once a month, and we have online seminars which patients can complete through the webpage at any time of the day or night. And once they're done with that seminar, the next step would be to come in to see one of us as surgeons in our program.
All right. We had someone called in with a question, Dr. McCullough. What are your thoughts on the new findings on diabetes drugs like Ozempic and
Wegovy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and Wegovy, Saxenda, semaglutide, all these medications are in a family of medications called GLP-1 agonists, or glucagon-like peptide agonists. It's a chemical that's produced by your gut that when that chemical is increases your body's ability to process sugars and effectively use insulin. So it helps lower blood sugars. It also helps suppress the appetite. Those medications, and it's interesting because gastric bypass and sleeve gastrectomy surgery also affect those numbers, and in fact they affect GLP-1 agonists in a much better way than the medications do by what we call as doctors and fancy nerd speak, upregulating GLP-1 production in the body. And so we see with patients, like right after surgery, before they even start losing weight, it's what we call weight-independent resolution of diabetes. The patient's blood sugars get better while they're still in the hospital before they even go home after surgery because of that immediate upregulation of GLP-1 agonists. And with surgery, that stays upregulated long term, and so a patient gets much quicker resolution of diabetes, and it lasts much longer. For patients years and decades after surgery, they still don't get recurrence of their diabetes because of the way that changing the gut hormones affects GLP-1. The biggest drawback to medications, other than the extraordinary cost of the medications, because a lot of insurances don't pay for it, and some of these newer medications can cost $1,000 or more per month out of patients' pocket in order to take these medications. They do a good job of helping patients lose weight and improve their diabetes as long as they're taking it. But as soon as they stop that medication, GLP-1 numbers drop back down, and the sugars go back up and patients gain the weight back. So it only lasts as long as patients lose weight. There is a role for those medications. If patients are dedicated to making a lifestyle change, and they're going to learn to eat right and exercise and change the way that they approach their own life and prioritize their own needs so that they're making more time for themselves to do these things, as a adjunct to that and to get things started, I don't have a problem with patients starting GLP-1 agonists like Wegovy or Saxenda, just to get them started and on the right track. But sooner or later, they're going to have to stop that and rely on eating right and exercise. And then it goes right back to the problem the patients had in the first place. It's the underlying hunger, and and going to bed hungry and not eating enough food in order to get full. And so they're right back to where they started from. Whereas with the operation, that underlying hunger drive gets suppressed. The blood sugars improve, and patients get better portion control and feeling of fullness or satiety that lasts long term after the operation.
We're talking about Ozempic. I know that there's a shortage of it right now. Folks are taking it for weight loss. Is that a good idea?
There's a medical answer to that, and then there's probably a political answer to that. Okay. And right now, GLP-1 agonists like Ozempic are enjoying their 15 minutes of fame because patients really do lose a lot of weight quickly, and they really do get better diabetes management with this medication in the short term. But it comes to the price. I mean, all medications are toxins. They're things that do not normally belong in the human body, and we're giving them to patients to help them with whatever medical problem it is. Very rarely does a medication cure a problem. It keeps a problem from getting worse. So it keeps your diabetes from getting worse, and it may transiently help you lose weight. But long term, it causes problems. And even in the short term, it causes problems. And from a medical perspective, one of the problems that I see on a regular basis is patients coming in with intolerable reflux or vomiting, because one of the side effects, it's what GLP-1 agonists do, it slows gut emptying and slows stomach emptying. And so patients get a form of gut paralysis where their stomach stops emptying well, and they get a buildup of juices in their stomach, especially if they're already diabetic and they have a tendency towards what's called gastroparesis, which is a fancy doctor term for my stomach doesn't empty right. GLP-1 agonists can make that worse, and so patients come in with really bad reflux, and they say, oh my gosh, I've got this bad reflux, which can cause problems with the esophagus and inflammation of the esophagus, and can eventually lead to cancers and tumors of the esophagus if left untreated. And so there are definite downsides to GLP-1 agonists, which we're just seeing now, because 10 years ago, we weren't even using them that much. And so the more we learn, the more we realize that it's not the panacea that we thought it was.
What about life after surgery? How does the program support patients afterwards?
And so the operation is just the start. And so patients will see us on average for 3 or 4 months before surgery, where we get them into our nutrition program, we get them into our exercise program, we start in emotional support. And what I try and do that 3 to 4 months is teach them how to eat right and learn how to live life after weight loss surgery, because all the weight loss operations limit how much food you can eat. And so learning how to eat smaller meals more frequently is part and parcel of the whole process of getting used to life after surgery. But that's just the beginning. And so we see our patients on a regular basis after surgery. We see them 1 week after surgery, 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year after surgery, where the operation is usually going well. And so we don't spend a lot of time talking about that. What we're talking about is food, exercise, getting on that lifestyle change. More importantly, improving on that lifestyle changing, adding exercise, fine-tuning diet. And then for every year thereafter, and I tell my patients until one of us dies or retires, we're going to keep on seeing you. And keep on making sure that patients' nutritional needs are met, checking vitamin levels, making sure that they're not becoming malnourished, but most importantly, making sure they're staying on that lifestyle change and staying their coach. And our support group classes, which meet on a monthly basis, do the same thing, but in a much more intimate setting.
So those coordinators and those support groups, they're very important and very needed for the patients as they go through the lifestyle changes?
I think so, yes. And it's the reason why we promote it so much in our program at Cape Fear Valley, is that we believe that that support network is really helpful for our patients. It's interesting, not all of our patients need it. Not all our patients go to the support group. We ask them to come before surgery to at least get an idea of what it's all about. But we don't compel patients to go to support group. It's up to them. Some patients have an amazing support network at home. They have a supportive spouse or loved one, supportive family, supportive co-workers, in work environments of everybody are helping them with that lifestyle change, and realize that it is the best thing for our patients is to lose weight and stay on track. But for some of our patients coming in the door, they may not have that support network. They may not have strong family support or work support or whatever, and to have that support network for them is critical for their long-term success.
Patients who are considering bariatric surgery, Dr. McCullough, what are some things that you want these patients to think about before getting the surgery?
I'll say this. The hardest part for patients is making that decision to come. And when patients actually get to me for their first visit and they're sitting in the chair and we're sitting down and talking, I say the hardest part is getting to that chair. It gets easier after that, because it is a huge decision for patients to make, to admit that I need help, and I need more help than a pill or counseling or dietary, nutritional counseling can provide. I need something more. And once they make that decision, I want to let them know that it's going to be easier after that, and that we're going to be with them along the way, and that they don't have to do this alone. That reassurance is super important for our patients to know that it gets better after that. And the hardest part is just putting that one foot in front of the other and saying, okay, I've decided that I need the help. I'm going to go through and do it.
All right. And once again, if someone wants to get bariatric surgery and they have diabetes, how would they get in touch with you, or how would they get in touch with the bariatric clinic at Cape Fear Valley?
And so there's several ways they can do it. As I said earlier, a lot of our patients are self-referred, meaning they make the decision and they call us, because most insurances no longer require a referral from their physician. But some of them do, and we don't want to take away that doctor-patient relationship between their primary care provider and them. And so we've taken the time to go around to every primary care doctor's office in the region, in the 5 or 6 county area around Fayetteville, and let them know about our program and give them information about how they can easily help our patients come in and see us. And so there's a referral network that they can use through their providers, or they can call our office. And again, we provided the number, and it's also on the web page, or they can just go to the web page at capefearvalley.com to start the process.
Dr. Daniel McCullough on Making Rounds Live, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. McCullough, before we close out today's broadcast, do you have anything that you want to add? Is there something that we may have missed that you want to make sure our viewers and listeners know?
I think that this has been an awesome talk this morning, both talking about diabetes with Ms. Christiana and then talking about the weight loss surgery. And so I'm very thankful for the opportunity to come and talk. I would say this, though. And one of the biggest, I talk to my patients at their 1-year visit, and usually we don't talk about medical stuff so much because the medical stuff is okay. So we talk about life, because I like to talk a little bit. And I ask my patients at their 1-year visit, what's the biggest regret that you have? Do you have any regrets about doing surgery? Are you happy you did the operation? Questions like that. Far and away, the most common answer I get is the biggest regret I ever had was that I didn't do it sooner.
Wow.
And that I didn't come in and get this done when I was younger. Because I have patients that come in when they're 18, 28, 38, 68, 70, and no matter where they wish that they'd come in sooner, because their quality of life is so much better after surgery. They feel so much better. They can do more. You know, we talk about scale victories like, hey, I've lost weight and I've lost 100 pounds, and, you know, and golf clap for that. But what patients really want is, I can get on an airplane. I don't have to wear a seatbelt extender when I get on the airplane. I can go run around with my kids and be more active in ways that I couldn't do before. I get my life back, and that's where patients say, I wish I'd known about this sooner. And so I would just say, for anybody who's even considering this, just come listen to our seminar, whether it's online or in person. Come listen to what we have to offer, and almost certainly you won't regret it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Metabolic Valley Health, Dr. Daniel McCullough. Dr. McCullough, thank you so much for this conversation today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
This has been great. Now, before we close out today's broadcast, I do need to let everyone know about the Bariatric Support Group. As Dr. McCullough said, they meet the third Thursday of each month, and that includes this coming Thursday. It's going to be from 6 until 7 p.m. at Cape Fear Valley's Village Surgical, and they're located at 1841 Cove Street, right here in Fayetteville. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to mark the date. Our next broadcast is Tuesday, November 28th. That's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Now, then we're going to talk about something that we really don't want to talk about, but we really need to talk about, which is hospice and palliative care. And the director of Cape Fear Valley's New Valley Hospice House will be with us during this broadcast. And in addition, we'll have mental health resources for survivors of suicide loss. All of that on the next Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live, so make sure you join us. Ladies and gentlemen, for our producers, Shaka Jordan and Mr. Ray Thomas, our our social media coordinator, Ms. Lindsay Graham, and the hardworking team behind the scenes, I'm Omega Jones. Thank you so much for listening to Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live. Have a blessed and joy-filled Thanksgiving.
your station for inspiration and information.